Hey everybody, it's Chris Illuminati coming to you live from my humble home office. I'm the author of the New Dad Dictionary. I just happen to have a copy right here. Imagine that. The New Dad Dictionary. And you're watching Amy Pinard's photo gallery roundup. What was it called? Let's just rename it. Photo gallery roundup. Sounds good.
So are we allowed to talk loud in this room?
It's a study room, I guess.
I think so. Why not? Well, we're in a study room.
I think it was more like I feel weird being in front of a camera like that for too long. I'll stand on a stage and talk to people for a half hour, but being in front of a camera and I'm just like...
It's a strange thing to, Yeah,
it's like this is fine,
Yeah.
but like a camera, like a shooting camera, it's just something in your mind.
there's some expectation, like you're supposed to be posing or...
Not even the posing thing. You know what I think it is? I think it's like... No one really likes the way they look when they're photographed.
Right.
So you have like all these years of terrible photographs in your mind.
True.
And then you're like...
It comes to life.
It's in your head and you think, okay, do this or think this or act this way. And it just kind of, people freeze up. So maybe that's probably what it is for me. So
I think so.
It's a lot of excess baggage I'm carrying around about photographs.
It happens. You did a great job though.
Oh, thank you.
So
We'll see.
use some.
We'll see. You haven't seen all the photographs. We'll see.
I'm gonna pick up the pieces and build a Lego house. If things go wrong, we can knock it down. My 3 words have 2 meanings, but there's one thing on my mind. It's all for you. And it's dark in a cold December, but I got you to keep me warm. If you're broken, I will mend you, and I keep you sheltered from the storm that's raging on now.
Or some photos for this new book, correct? Or
Yes.
just
In general, I'm just tired of, I didn't want to go for the author on the book look. You know, the jacket.
Yeah, is there one, by the way? Is there one in here?
There is not one in there. I
so
did not do
you don't know
one.
what Chris looks like when you get this.
No,
but
probably
here
better
he
off.
is.
Yeah, better off. You'll be like, why is there an air horn on the front of
Why is there an air horn?
It's a breast pump.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was either.
Yeah.
See? But
I mean,
that's good because when people pick up the book, they'll go, why is there an air horn?
Right, and this is everything he really needs to know from A to Z for a new dad.
It's for new dads out there.
Really, really vital. And I know exactly who I'm giving this
And moms.
to.
I can't say just dads. I mean, some moms won't know everything in there.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Can I just pick a random page and
Sure, go for it.
Ooh, this is interesting. Object performance?
Object performance. Okay, so that's got that. If I remember correctly, that
Page
had
115.
that had to do with like that was more like motor skills and childlike.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's really it's one of those things where parents freak out about things and they really shouldn't. Yeah, so it's about basically it's a test that tells you if your kid's going to be a dummy.
Okay.
No pressure. No pressure on a 1-year-old. No pressure at all. A lot of the terms in the book, like we tried not to get too serious. So it's a dictionary of terms that you would probably come across in an average day if you were reading something or if you went to the doctor's office, and it's common terms that you might want to know moving forward. Like we tried not to touch on any serious subjects, like there's no mention of disease or like, it's more like like roseola, which is like the redness of the skin, or like ferberization, stuff like that.
You really wouldn't know going into it.
No. Crunchy mamas, scrunchy mamas, those are?
No.
Okay.
Do tell. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this will get it.
They'll know who they are out there. Like a crunchy mom is a mom who everything's organic.
Gotcha. Okay.
You guys see why I just have to say one word, organic.
I wasn't sure if it was more of like a hidden term.
Birkenstocks.
I didn't know, but it's that. Okay.
There's the scrunchy, which is the combination of the crunchy, where they do a little bit of everything. It's terms. It's nice terms to describe how crazy moms can get.
Okay.
With anything, with raising a kid, it's all personal preference.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want. It's your kid. Screw them up any way you'd like.
You hear that?
You will, because as I've learned with my own children, anything you do is quote unquote screwing them up. There's no perfect way to parent. There's no, what's good for you isn't good for someone else. And no matter what you do, even if you think you're doing the greatest job in the world, and we know this as adults now, your kid's going to have a problem with something you did, and they're going to come back at you for it. So try not to be, try not to be, too, oh my God.
I have 2 kids.
2.
And
5-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Okay. So you see a lot of differences in the way you were with your son?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The boy.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's the older one, right?
He's the older one. The older one, you're always like way more protective. Like, don't touch that, don't do that, don't do this. And then with my daughter, I'm just like, no,
right,
you can run your head into a wall. You'll be
Roll
fine.
down the stairs.
You'll be fine. Yeah. Like with my son, when he was he wasn't quite yet 2. We had like an accident. He was on the changing table. My wife was changing him, and she turned around for 1 second just to get something, and he rolled off.
Oh God.
And he fell. And
Worst nightmare.
Yes, and he landed on his back, and he just started like, it was almost like he wasn't breathing. He was like starting breath. And you can't ask a 1.5-year-old how they are. So we called an ambulance, freaking out.
She was just breathing, but
just like white in the face, and we were like, it was 7 a.m.
Right.
So we were like, oh my God, like it woke me up out of a sleep. And so I run downstairs, we call the ambulance shows up, and we explained to the EMTs what happened. They were like, that's it?
Really?
Yeah, the baby, they're like, ah.
It's a good reality check.
Yeah, the one EMT is like, oh, we had a baby the other day, fell out a 4-story window, it was fine.
Wow.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, they live after that.
Yeah. So we took him to the emergency room, checked out everything. Actually, Mommy was worse. They were more worried about Mommy because she went white in the face, passed out.
Of course.
So we went to the emergency room. He was fine.
And the
Nothing
guilt
was
attached to
wrong.
that too.
Oh, yeah,
like,
100%.
I turned around, so it's really bad.
But with my daughter, we're kind of like, hey, why don't you try and jump off this? Like, you're like, oh, no,
make yourself up a little.
So that's much different. And then by the 3rd kid, I'll probably be like, no, you can eat dirt. It's fine. It's good. Now I don't have to worry about dinner. So don't even worry about it. Yeah, go ahead. Enjoy.
This is soundproof, right?
I hope. Did someone come and look?
They're okay. We're just, pretty nice.
So they went 10 years to have me, and I was the only child. But now with my kids, like it never bothered me that I didn't have a brother and sister. And then when I see the dynamic of my kids,
you can talk normal. I just
okay.
Yeah,
when I see the dynamic of my kids, I wish I had a sibling.
Yeah.
Because you have a brother,
right?
So you get it.
And
I see them together and I'm like, oh, that's what I miss. I mean, they do fight, but they fight over dumb things, and they're only 5 and 2, so what are they really going to fight over except toys?
This person that's shared your experiences since, you were born is incredible.
I don't have, oh sure, rub it in.
It's just an incredible bond.
You don't have that person. You don't have that person, Chris. You don't.
Did you feel like you want more even now?
No. Kids?
No.
God.
This is it, folks. This is it. Once you read this, you're done.
I might do more parenting books, but I ain't doing more kids. The 3rd book should be no more. It's just stop. Just stop. Actually, when
a sibling, so that's all that's really necessary.
Yes. One kid.
Not like a big brood.
For everybody else, yeah. When my wife she wasn't under anesthesia yet, but it was like we were prepping for the 2nd child, and the nurse was like, so are you gonna have a 3rd? And up until that point, we were like, just like no.
Yeah.
And in that moment, my wife goes, maybe. And I was like, maybe, and like it's
drugs,
a whole thing. I'm like, I don't even know if they had. It was like the prep.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those things. Like when she had our first kid, we knew we wanted 2. When we had our first child, she was like, when you have that thing where you, like, let's say you leave a job or you leave a school, you're like, oh, I'm doing this for the last time. I'm walking up these steps for the last time. With the first kid, she's like, I'll be back. Like, this isn't the last. But with this kid, she's like, this is the last time. I'm going to scream at you. This is the last time. So everything was like kind of, and maybe,
ritual,
she got into that moment of, no, maybe I might want to do this one more time.
Okay.
And for that reason, they wouldn't let her get her tubes tied.
Really?
She's like, yes. And they're like, no. And she's like, no, yes. And they said, no.
They're like,
let him do it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Don't worry about me. Let him get a bag of peas.
Snip.
Yeah. You stay, because you might want to have another kid. Not with me, she's not. I don't know, you guys might know something I don't know. But not with me.
For the process of writing a book, I can't imagine it to be easy when you have 2 kids at home. And when the subject is about the kids. But how did you just tap into your daily experiences and keep a daily journal to get to this point, or was it something where you just like isolated yourself to go, you know, come to a library like this, or and just write in a concentrated amount of time?
I usually try to write on my own with no distractions, because I'm
Okay.
just a person that gets easily distracted.
Yeah, same.
They helped with ideas, because something constantly happened one day where I
awesome.
go, okay,
Mhm.
that's it, be
Yeah.
in there, that should be in there, and
Jot some
go to the
notes
doctor,
down
like,
and
what
then-
was that? That should be
Yeah.
in there. So that part
Booster
helped.
seat.
Yeah.
Got
So
that.
that part helped.
Bribery.
But the writing, the writing alone is because I'm super distracted.
Yeah,
Super
so
distracted.
you just have to find a, you know, a nice place to.
Library,
Okay.
Starbucks. Even though Starbucks, there's a lot of people in there, like it's not anyone I'm paying attention to, so it's kind of just like background noise.
Mhm.
But yeah, things like that. I should say I have to get away from the things I know.
Okay.
So I have to get away from my house, because I will be writing and go, oh, I should throw in a load of laundry, and that's distracting, or my kid runs in.
Yeah, good point.
So if I'm in Starbucks, like I don't have to help anybody else while I'm there. I just have to sit there and drink a coffee and write. So it's not as distracting. But yeah, I try to get away. I call it a change of scenery. I just need like a change of scenery to
Yeah.
kind of get everything going.
Nice. How do you deal with deadlines?
Terribly. I procrastinate, and it's probably half of my problem. Like I've always been that way,
Mhm.
and I don't even know if I work better under stress, because I've never done something ahead of time to know if it was any
Yeah,
better.
there's no comparative study on that.
But I do this thing, and it's gotten much better as I've gotten, you know, freelance and other writing. I do this thing where the articles or whatever I'm working on is almost halfway written in my head before I even sit down. So like I'll formulate, oh, that'll be the opening paragraph, that'll be what I talk about, that's the transition, and I'll maybe jot down a note or two. But as far as like sitting down and writing something, like a day or two before a deadline. So at least it's in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing
yeah.
on paper, but at least it's
There's just
it's
some
in there.
fire from the
Right.
deadline that pushes it out.
Right, because I don't think even if I sat down, like if I got an assignment that's due in a month, the first day I don't even think I would know what to sit down and write.
Did you ever read this book? Now of course I forget the title, but Eat This Frog. But it's just about like starting the thing that's the toughest to get done first, like forcing yourself every day to like
I've gotten
do
better
that
at that.
first, and it's easy in theory, but it is hard just because.
Here's one that might help you, it might help everybody else
Yeah.
out there that I learned. List making is very
Okay.
helpful, but list making the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you gotta do the next day, sit down before you go to bed,
Mhm.
write it all down,
Yeah,
piece of
that's
paper, so then you
Eat
wake
This
up and
Frog.
go,
Mhm.
oh, okay, so you just go,
Yeah,
there it is.
only
and-
because, and then you sort of like prioritize like which one do you not want to, which one do you want to do the least,
Right,
basically, but would make the most impact
Yeah.
in your day, and then you start with that one.
And then small
you don't
list.
do anything until that's done.
Okay.
Which is really hard because
Yeah.
I think it's so much easier to just like kind of start that thing and then, you know, knock off a couple of small ones, but they don't want you to even move to the next one until that's done.
gotcha.
And it's supposed to build the momentum of like, oh, I feel good about getting that out of the way first.
I'm gonna have to ask for that book. Do you have the
Yeah,
Eating
let's
Frogs
just
book?
let's eat some frogs out there.
Do you have the Eating Frog book?